the witnesses. Let's bring in Republican strategist Kelly Sadler and Democratic strategist Laura Fink. Guys, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Kelly, first to you, your expectations for what the defense team is going to say. It is believed, and Robert Ray kind of hinted at this, they're going to use the Constitution as defense for the president.
Yeah, absolutely. The president did nothing wrong here. Nothing that, brings this up to a high crime and misdemeanors, which is the standard for impeachment. The House rushed this through. It was a very partisan trial. It was a sham of impeachment where the president's lawyers were not present. This time over on the Senate, we are going to hear from the 7 House managers in a very calm, cordial way. Then we'll hear the rebuttal from the president for the first time ever. Well, he and his team will be able to make his case. I think that you're not going to have those opening statements like Adam Schiff had that were full of errors and blatant partisan lies.
Okay.
That Mitch McConnell will keep this very straightforward and very bipartisan.
But Laura, Chuck Schumer came out last night actually, and he says that he wants to see witnesses. He wants this to be a fair and impartial trial. The problem is that the Senate is controlled by Mitch McConnell and the Republicans, and there's a possibility that they're going to pull a trigger switch and actually, give the legal team for the president the chance to ask for dismissal, and they grant it. What is that politically, though, in your mind?
It's not just Adam Schiff that wants to see witnesses. It's the American people, north of 70% of whom have said that they want a fair trial. They want to see witnesses. They want to see documents released. And we know that every single senator will raise their hand and swear an oath to do impartial justice during this impeachment trial. And that means on this MLK Day that they will be judging President Trump on the content of his character, on his actions in relation to the Constitution. And it's really important to note that this is not about partisanship. And who's ever heard of a trial without witnesses? I mean, that just doesn't even pass the smell test.
Well, let me take that to Kelly, because Donald Trump Jr. had said to Maria yesterday that he thought that, fine, if you want to bring witnesses, bring both sides, bring Hunter Biden. They're not going to do that. Yeah,
I mean, in terms of the House had all the time in the world to bring as many witnesses forward as they wanted to. They rushed this case. Nancy Pelosi sat on it for a month, and now it's being presented to the Senate. So, yes, the senators should look at the case that the House presented them. Right. They should not be doing the work the House should have done in the first place.
But that's not the way trials, that's just simply not the way trials work. You wouldn't see prosecutors and you wouldn't see judges, which they're supposed to be jurors and judges, ignoring evidence that comes in later after the initial trial documents have been submitted. It just doesn't make any sense to ignore it and try to turn this into a partisan problem. Evidence is evidence. You have to hear it, and you should let the people decide. So what you have, the Senate is under an obligation to do impartial justice, and that means allowing the evidence in so that they can weigh it in order to do that impartial justice and uphold the Constitution. And remember that the GAO just came out with a report, said that when President Trump withheld congressionally approved aid, $400 million taxpayer dollars, withholding it was illegal to
Let me remind you something else about that GAO report.
Kelly, go ahead.
The GAO report found President Obama acted illegally 4 times. One in Obamacare.
So last time I checked, President Obama was not.
Just one at a time. Ladies, one at a time. It's too early to be talking over each other. It's only 5 o'clock in the morning.
We're not talking about President Obama.
But it's okay. But Kelly, I don't necessarily want to bring. You brought up President Obama. I don't want to go there, but Kelly, I do want to ask you, there's a lot of comparisons now to this impeachment process versus the impeachment process against Bill Clinton, and that there's similarities, but this is even more partisan this time around. Your response?
Well, I mean, it's more partisan this time around because the House did not do their due diligence. They didn't call up John Bolton. They didn't go to the courts to sort out what this executive privilege means. And so by them not doing their job and by having a very partisan sham of an impeachment, this is what the Senate now has to look at. And it's not the Senate's job to build the House's case, period.
It's the Senate's job to do impartial justice, which means allowing evidence, which the American people want to see. So it flies in the face of that.
We're going to have to see tomorrow. Kelly, Laura, I appreciate all the energy on this holiday, and thank you for getting up early for me. I certainly appreciate it. We'll see you both soon.
Thanks.